Coach, you talked a lot about the rebounding aspect and wanting to get your guys on the boards more. Obviously, you guys won that battle tonight. What did you think was different, and how important is that for you guys?
We've been emphasizing it. It's just taken a while to kick in, but we've been emphasizing it. Um, I told you, kind of post All Star, we really made a focus with the guys of win the possession game because you're not going to shoot the ball well all the time, especially in the playoffs. Sometimes you're not going to shoot free throws well, like tonight, because you're defending so hard. So that was the difference. And I don't know where they rank in the possession game. I'll bet you they're top three. But I think we were plus 10. That was the difference because we did not. We started out 2 for 20 from three. So to win that game, that was a playoff type win.
What did you make of the little scuffle that happened between Donovan and Desmond?
Yeah, I don't understand. It was a 50-50 ball. I don't know how it got, how it got elevated. I guess I did see Ja join the fray. I wish it would have just been left, Don and Desmond. Or leave it at that. Like when you start getting guys coming in and push that was my observation. I did not love that we had extracurricular people come from the perimeter to get involved in that. I thought it was, I'd have to see the video exactly what happened. I guess did Tristan get and then Ja came in and pushed down. It's like, I don't get that. Like, what, let the two guys tussle. Everybody else stay out of it.
Nick. Hey, Kenny.
Hey.
Ty Jerome's performance.
Oh, man.
What can you say about him?
They were joking they're going to name a floater after him, So you guys can start thinking about that, what his floater is. I don't know. He's got amazing. We needed his, with excuse me, Darius out. We needed his ball handling. We needed his playmaking. He was phenomenal. Kind of took the game over there for a while, and then made big plays down the stretch and big defensive play. Had that big steal with the pull-up three. Man, the guy's playing unbelievable.
And you mentioned Darius. Do you have any update or feel for severity?
My amateur opinion is this is probably one. I don't. It's not going to be long term. I think I'd anticipate him being ready very, very soon. I'm not going to guarantee next game, but I'd say, trending that way.
Yeah.
Evan had a really big night tonight, 25 points. Just what did you think overall of his game?
I know we forget it, but it just I thought that he had a huge three on that pull behind, but he was just everywhere. He was both ends, right? We talked about defensive player of the year, and would he have 3 blocks? I don't know how many steals. He was great on Jaren all night. Phenomenal all-star performance from him.
What went into the decision to start Isaac in Darius's place?
Yeah, we went back and forth. Get Isaac back into the groove. He's done well with that starting group, and then obviously match him up with Ja. Again, that wasn't an easy decision. We could have started Dre. We could have started Dean. We talked about him. Just went with Ice. He's been good on Morant in the past too.
Chris.
Kenny, last Friday night against the Knicks, you mentioned something along the lines of, the reputation that got attached to the Cavs because of that particular series. Do you sense that, throughout the course of this season, your guys trying to disprove the whole thing about them being not physical enough?
Yeah, we don't talk about it. I think the rebounding piece with the Knicks was a particular situation, and not being able to rebound against them. But they kind of know, right? And we've experienced Oklahoma City Celtics. They kind of know what that next level is, and I think I think where you're going is tonight was one of those games where you have to kind of answer the bell against the second best team in the West, and they're a very physical team. So, but it's not like written on our walls like, man, we got to be more physical. It's just compete at a high level, right? Compete consistently. Win the possession game, because that's really aggression, possession, right? I was use those two words together. So you got to rebound. You got to be able to turn them over and not turn it over. So we're kind of emphasizing it that way rather than say, hey, we got to, outfight them, out physical. It's kind of, a little bit elementary motivation, but they know what they have to do to get to the next level. They know what the playoff, basketball's like.
Mike.
It's happened a few times. Happened tonight at the first quarter. Ty Jerome's had a couple moments throughout the season where for a 6-7 minute stretch he becomes the greatest player in the world. do you get a sense, and do you see anything in Ty that you can see those moments coming, that you know it's about to happen?
I mean, one of the coaches asked me, they're like, was this the same guy? Did you see any of this in Golden State? I'm like, I saw none of this. I saw, cerebral point guard, set up point guard, get everybody involved, so it's really an amazing story how he's become this, like, he has Steph-like minutes sometimes. It's like, he's shooting 25 footers, he's getting steals, he's really taking over games. I think the crowd, what I feel is like the crowd starts feeling Ty, and that like elevates him, elevates everybody. It's one of the kind of strangest things I've seen for a role player, to get that kind of respect and get it going like that. It's really fun to watch.
Cam.
Donovan obviously is a leader of this team, but it seemed tonight he was super vocal in those timeouts, coming off the plays, just really guiding guys. What does that mean to you as his coach, to have a guy like that being able to kind of shake the team up?
He leads the whole thing. I mean, I would say he leads the coaching staff. Like his demeanor, even when I was getting a little upset with the refs, and Mr. Calm comes over to me, puts his arm around me. He doesn't yell at me like, hey, Darius will yell at me sometimes for doing that, but Don's like, we got it, relax. And just to have that, and it's always that way. He's never up, he's never down. He just has this beautiful, calm, intelligent demeanor about him, and same way with the players, right? Never raises his voice. If he ever wanted to coach, he'd be phenomenal. He's just got a unbelievable positive demeanor, and he's a great leader.
Joe.
You were talking earlier before the game about Strus, or you were asked why he's in the starting lineup. Barring, I know we have 2 months left. Barring an injury or a drastic change in play, are you comfortable that he will be your starting 3?
I mean, it's really hard to predict going forward, because even playoffs, is there a matchup that doesn't fit him? It could be something like that. I'll say he's making a great case, like I said before the game. I mean, not only the visual like we all see, but also analytically, he's great with that first group. And then, like I said, there's a trust with him with that first group. Like they really love playing with him. They love that he does the dirty work like he did tonight, right? 4 offensive rebounds, hits big shots. But I don't want to promise anything, because I know how quickly things can change. I know how matchups happen. But right now, it's pretty clear that he's in the starting lineup with that group.
Daryl.
Memphis is one of the bigger teams, if not the biggest team in the NBA. You talk often about feedback going against the better teams in the league. Just what type of feedback do you take away from a game like tonight, especially with the way Jarrett and Evan play?
Yeah, and that's to Chris's. You could we upped our physicality. I felt like physically we you could say dominated, right? When you get 22 offensive rebounds, you're on it. You're on your game physically, and that's really tough against a team like this when that's it's their their identity, that we kind of turned that on them tonight. And usually and they were probably the more skilled team, right? They were better at the 3-point line, and so we kind of switched identities tonight. But again, I'm happy. I think that was great playoff practice. We'll see games like this in the playoffs. Same thing with the refereeing, with the crowd, not making shots. Are you going to win the possession game, like I keep saying?
Good. Oh, you need I'm sorry.
Speaking of playoff energy, that's what this game really had. When you guys, especially post-scuffle, how do you make sure that energy doesn't get too erratic and we can finish strong, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think it comes down to our leadership, right? We kind of don't cross the line emotionally. It's pretty amazing, and I do felt like we got a boost out of that. Like I could feel us raise our intensity without being too emotional about it. And like I said, in the huddle, there was no sometimes you can get over emotional and start talking about the other team and the referees. We just kind of stayed calm. And when we came out of that timeout, I think we went on a little run, actually, and raised our intensity without going overboard.